let's talk about mining, Rapha, right? So I think one of the misconceptions I think that we see in the Bitcoin space is that somehow using less energy is a good thing, right? Somehow, energy is bad. Energy is a demon. It's kind of like it's portrayed as like this type of moral failure if you use less energy. And I think that's a complete misconception. I think it's kind of changing. I don't know. It's changing the narratives. And I think Bitcoin mining in itself is actually helping change that narrative back to where it should be.
I'll tell you a story, I think, that fits really well here, and I think will set the tone to why this is so important. So I flew to the Amazon. I spent 3 months in the heart of the Amazon, and one of the places we went, I remember clearly, was called Laranjal do Jari, middle of nowhere. Imagine you fly somewhere, you take a small plane, you go somewhere, you get a boat, 6-hour boat ride is what you get, right? You drive for like hours, and like there are no streets, there's nothing, but you get to this place, and there is prosperity everywhere in the sense that you have trees with the best fruits that you can imagine, a lot of fish in the river, right? But at the same time, the people were extremely poor. There's no electricity, right? There's no energy for this city. And you would see that, night would fall and the city pretty much dies, collapses. You see kids coming back from school to study, and they're studying in these open areas, right, outside. So energy is progress at the end of the day. They think that, too much energy, would lead to bad, but no, energy is progress. And I can guarantee that if you had electricity in this place, it would improve the quality of life for everybody there. There's a chart that will show a correlation between GDP and energy consumption. The higher the GDP, the higher energy consumption you're going to have. Energy consumption is also, a reflection of the advance of civilization, right? We're estimated to be at 0.7 of the scale. So more energy, equals to better progress, I think, through advancement of civilization, right? Consuming energy is bad to the environment, right? And in a sense, there is some truth to that, right? Because of course, if you're consuming bad energy that is going to pollute everything, then of course it's not good. But, shutting it down is also not the solution. We're going to go back to the dark ages, right? If we do that. And unfortunately, that's what some people suggest, right? It ties 100% with Bitcoin mining.
It makes grids efficient, right? It makes renewable energy sources that otherwise would not be viable without government subsidies actually viable, right? So yeah, if you want to do a little bit of a deep dive into how transformational Bitcoin mining is to the energy grid in general.
Yeah, this is actually, I'm having a ton of these conversations now. There are some, I can use Brazil as an example because Brazil overbuilt the energy grid on solar and wind. We have a very good solar and wind generation, not on the grid, right? But some of these are in remote areas that can't send the energy anywhere. So I was having a conversation with one of the largest energy companies in Brazil, and they're telling me, well, what we're doing now is that we have this huge wind farm here in the northeast of Brazil. It's a very windy place, and we're bringing in all these batteries from China so that we can stock the energy and then just put it back to the grid at night, right? And I asked, okay, so where are these coming from, how much they cost, and the capex for that is ridiculous, right? And the technology is not even that good, right? And I tell you, this is not a Bitcoiner guy that never heard about Bitcoins. We're talking about that, well, what if you could, have a monetary battery, a monetary fuel cell that you could store the capital instead, and much cheaper than you buying, and by the way, much less pollutant than what you're doing right now, right? We're not using lithium, any of those things, right? You just can build here. He was intrigued, like, here's what we're gonna do, right? I'll come in with a container, right? We sit on a bunch of containers close where the generation is. And during the day where we have excess power, we can take that power, right? I'll turn the machines on, the Bitcoin mining machines on, and we'll take all the excess power that it can give us, right? At night, when you need the power back, right, or whatever you're doing, we just turn it off, right? So we're capturing that excess that he has, right, in the periods of peak wind, and then just storing it in the monetary fuel cell.
Because Bitcoin enables that, would it be safe to say that energy now becomes a monetary asset?
Money is a memory of work, right? What that means is that the representation of money is that work and energy was spent somewhere, by an individual, by a corporation, and this is the way that you stock that energy. This is how you move the energy across time. Money was born because of this, right? Think about it like in the early ages, in the, you know, the stories that we hear about the yap cultures and their stones, right? It was born because of this, because people, you know, they overproduce, like, okay, I have too much fish. What do I do? Some of the fish away, and then in exchange, they're going to give me some stones that I later can store from something else, right?
Which is a representation of the energy that they spent getting the fish.
So I think the Bitcoin mining industry is going to blur the lines finally and going to make this connection between energy and money in a way that we've never been able to. We didn't have technology for this until now.